It's one of those things that's just going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of persistence from the American people to demand that, and not settle for what the politicians, for what Congress, for what the presidents, for what senators are pushing down upon us. And, you know, we talk about, you know, all the senators voted to go to war, and that's how Bush was able to go to war. The senators voted for that.
Right.
Well, if you look at it, I think, and I don't want to be misquoted, but I'm pretty sure there were less than 3 senators who had family members in Iraq.
Right.
So it's easy for them to vote for that.
Right on that.
So, you know, we want people in there that are real, that know what we're going through, that what the average American person is going through. And I think, you know, people really feel that Baraka represents that for whatever reason. And again, I don't think we want to see, you know, 16 years of the Clintons in power.
Right.
And again, not that I'm backing Baraka, but even the Republicans, one thing that they said, and it was leaked, and I don't know exactly who said it, that, you know, once they get once they get Baraka and Hillary in the top 2 positions, any of you guys can beat those 2.
Right.
You know, that was the feeling amongst the Republicans, that any one of us can beat any of those 2. So let's try to make sure that those 2 are the final 2 that come to.
That's a good point.
We feel like any of us can beat those 2.
That's a really good point. I mean, because, of course, there's never been a woman nominee, and there's never been a black nominee or African American or whatever it is that we choose to call ourselves this week. So, I mean, that's a very viable argument. In your opinion, and I like to ask all my guests this question too, how viable is a Barack Obama candidacy?
It's yet to be seen. I mean, you know, America's tricked us so many times that you know, some of their tricks are really good, and this could be one of their tricks. You know, that they want to get you know, Barack or Hillary up in there and to run against a Republican, because they're really feeling that, okay, now once it comes right down to the meat and potatoes, are the American people, are the good old boys really going to let there be a woman president? Are the good old boys really going to let there be a black president? So the Republicans, I think they're sitting in a position where they think that they're in a position to win it, especially since Edwards dropped out, you know, just a week ago. I think that they took a deep breath and was like, okay, now we've got it. We've narrowed it down to the 2 that we want to face. Yeah, they think that they have it locked, and you know, they want the American people still to think that this is going to be a fight to the end. And you know, we'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be tough for one of those to win over one of those Republicans.
Real tough, in my view, next to impossible. Absolutely. And, you know, I don't want anyone to think that I don't like Senator Obama. I don't care too much about Hillary Clinton. But, you know, Barack Obama's a brother. You know, I got to have love for the brother man. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But in regards to their candidacy, either one of them being viable, it's really a stretch for me. You know, because, you know, and I've said this before, that America, political system, educational system, criminal justice system, every system that this country has developed is built upon the principles of white supremacy and black inferiority.
Absolutely.
And even though a brother said to me, man, that the real power is never the power that you can see, it's always the power that you don't see.
Absolutely.
Even though the presidency is in my view, just a symbolic position, that it's really not Bush that wields the power, it's those people who put him in. It's that whole neoconservative clique that's really pulling or calling the shots. Even though that would be a symbolic thing if Barack were to win, I don't see this country being ready for that. You know, because there's clearly, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on, there's clearly a war being waged against black people, black men in particular.
Right.
You know, in the article we read in preparing for the show, it talked about how although blacks are only 13% of the population, they're 49% of the HIV cases.
Yep.
Although blacks are only 13% of the population, we're over 50% of those in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
Even though blacks are only 13% of the population, our educational rates of graduation and whatnot are way below national standards in reflection to our numbers. Right. You know, so clearly there's something going on against black people. And so to me, it's just difficult for me to really envision Barack ever winning the nomination, the presidency, man, please.
Well, you know, here we go again. Colin Powell was going to run for president. There was talk about him running for president. Right. You know, his wife told him,
right,
no, because he knows she knows the good old boys better than most people. And I like to call them the good old boys. They're not going to let you win, Colin. Mm-hmm. And even if you do win, it's going to end badly for you. The good old boys aren't going to let Hillary win, I don't think. And I don't think the good old boys are going to let Barack win. But they want us to feel good.
Right.
They want us to have hope. They want us to think that America is changing to that. They want us to think that America is ready for a woman in power. They want us to think that a black man is ready to be in power and president, to make us feel good. Because, like I said, we are 13% of the population, but we make the world go around.
Right.
The black people, Latino people, they need us. You know, and even you see with the immigration laws, they don't want to keep the Mexicans out of the United States because they're our labor force.
Right.
The black people are our labor force. You know, we bought so many great things in this country that they want us to feel good. They want us to continue to feel good here, but all the time knowing what they're going to do. And again, I think the Republicans have set it up the way they want it. I think the good old boys are doing their thing again.
Right.
Like you said, you know, the good old boys, they run the country this whole time. They're going to continue to run the country. I don't see them giving it over.
No.
Why now? What does 2008 have to do with the good old boys giving up power?
And that's a good point. I mean, because when you think about everything that Caucasians, Europeans, whatever it is that we want to call them, did to get the country. I mean, when you think about them first coming to the shores of America, how the natives were slaughtered and their land was taken away. They kidnapped black people and had us to work for free for 310 years in chattel slavery. They've done all manner of evil to all the darker peoples who have ever been in this country in order to maintain power.
Right,
it's just hard for me to believe that after doing all that, we'll let y'all vote and get it.
You know, Brother Herman, it's funny you say that because I was talking to another brother yesterday, and it's like, you know, he was saying, well, you know, things are changing. I'm like, yeah, things are changing.
Right.
But the more they change, the more they stay the same.
Absolutely.
Like you see those guys that used to be on the city bus doing 3-card Molly. You think they stopped doing that? No,
right.
They just changed their game.
Right.
You know, America hasn't stopped doing what they were doing. They just changed the game so you won't recognize it so easily. So
right.
they're still doing the same things. They've just changed the game. They just changed the game on us, Brother Herman.
Yes, sir. Now, another question. Barack Obama, he's been able to get, I mean, numerous endorsements.
Absolutely.
It reads here. In other developments, author Toni Morrison, whose infamous comment declared Bill Clinton was the first black president, announced that she is endorsing Senator Obama. Democratic heavyweight Senator Edward Kennedy of Massachusetts announced his endorsement of Obama, as well as his son, Representative Patrick Kennedy of Rhode Island. Senator Kennedy's niece, who's JFK's daughter, Caroline Kennedy, announced her support of Senator Obama in the New York Times. It says Senator Obama could be an inspirational figure in the way that her late father, John F. Kennedy, was. That's what she said. Do you think that that's reminiscent of the Kennedy years from what you understand?
Well, you know, Barack has picked up some good supporters. And, you know, hopefully things will work out positive for him. I mean, he's picked up some powerful people in the Kennedys. And, I mean, I think I would like to see Barack give it a good try. I would like to see him in there. You know, just like Super Sunday, I thought the Patriots were winning, but I was really wanting New York, so I was happy to eat my words in New York winners. So I can't wait to get home to see what happens on Super Tuesday. I want to see how Barack has done on Super Tuesday, and hopefully he's done well on Super Tuesday. But he has picked up some powerful backing in the Kennedys, for sure.